Peace, love, and light, everyone. I hope all is well. This is your girl, Serena Wills, and welcome to another segment of Literary Artistry with Serena Wills. So, I am a self published author, a poet, a spoken word artist, and a publishing coach. And today we're going to wrap up season 6. I can't believe it. Another season in the books. We're wrapping up this season with a bit of reflection through poetry. So I decided to share some of my story as what a lot of poets do. We share a lot of our stories through our poems. And I'm just reflecting back on 2025. Not sure when you'll see this episode. It might be 2026 and beyond. But this reflection will be timeless for many because there are some that might be going through what I have been through or have been through what I've been through and can truly emphasize. So I'm going to go through all four of my poetry books. We're going to start off our first poem with Reconstruction, Piece of Life, Volume 1. This is my very first book, baby. Came out in 2014, and the anniversary edition paperback will debut early 2026. Thought it was going to be this year, but my timeline was not God's timeline for sure. But the ebook is available on my website, and I actually recorded the audiobook on Audible. So I'm just going to give you a little backstory about this year. So I started off 2025, kicking it off in January with my 50th birthday. Yes, I turned 50 and really thought things would go a lot different. Um, I had so many things planned and I felt transitions coming, but just didn't know how hard those transitions would be, as well as having to deal with heartbreak as part of the transition. Um, so I went through and transitioned out of a 3.5 year relationship this year. And Reconstruction, even though it was written and published in 2014, it was written before then, but debuted in 2014. Some of the poems I wrote back then resonate with me now and may resonate with many. And Reconstruction, for those who don't know, my first book, Baby, is about a relationship that started off great, grand, went a bit awry, went left field, and the last chapter is Reconstruction. It's your healing, it's your time, it's your journey back to yourself, back to loving you, rediscovering what you love and value in life. So, this particular poem is called Dear Love, and it is actually out of the chapter titled The Aftermath. Yeah. Dear love, I thought I knew you, once adored your every move, your style and grace. How is it that the thing I love could be so hurtful? The kind of love I thought I had was something I once envisioned to be untouchable, approachable, and something like no other. Again, I failed at love, at what I thought it was supposed to be, wondering if one day I will find that one that will love me for who I am, my spirit, and everything. He will look past my flaws and love me for my inner beauty. It will be that old fashioned, old school love. Never have to guess or even have a second thought. It will be plain as day and the pursuit will be hot. But alas, I don't know if I will ever find that love or if that love will ever find me. Scared, I will grow old not knowing what that will ever feel like with a man. Fear that there is no one out there for me. Times are hard, God, and I am steadily trying, keeping my faith, knowing that maybe one day you will bless me with my mate. But today I am in a dark place, not knowing how to face the man I thought was the one. Now I know, God, that I jumped the gun and tired of my feelings being trampled on, anger building up inside me. As the days go on, I grow older, wondering if there is one, praying for patience and a light heart. But it's hard, God. It's hard because I thought I knew who you blessed me with. But in return, his eye was on someone else. And yes, again, I have to face the fact that I was wrong. So, God, please, please shed light on me because I am in a dark place tonight. All right. So, for those who are new or new-ish to the poetry world, we do snaps. We don't do claps, but we snap it up. So, that was from Reconstruction Pieces of Life, Volume 1. The anniversary edition will be available in 2026, but if you love what you heard or you can emphasize with what I have gone through or you might be going through. And the one thing I have learned through even just reading my own poems and other great poets as well is that, people are in your life for a season and a reason. They teach you something. And even though it hurts to let them go, sometimes letting them go is the best thing to do. We all are here on this earth to grow. We're not meant to be stagnant. So if someone is stopping your growth, maybe it's time for a reevaluation. So this poem is going to come out of my next book, which is titled The Awakening, Pieces of Life, Volume 2. Now, even though this is Volume 2, this was my third book published, and we'll get to the second book in a second. So, The Awakening, this book really talks about life is going to life. Okay. And what's the saying? Life be lifing. But all in all, we get hit with a lot, but we still have to keep pushing forward, persevering. And we have to get to our awakening, our purpose, our destiny. What do we love to do? So it picks up from Reconstruction. We're talking about what we need to do, what we would love to do, but all in all, more life is still hitting us, even though we're still trying to heal from, in my case, a relationship that went awry. So, with this particular poem, You Don't Know My Pain, this talks about one that is dealing with illness. I have chronic Lyme disease. It's been 13 years, but this particular year, I was hit with COVID once again. That happened literally late August. And I said, okay, I've had COVID before. I'll get through it in about 10 days. And 2 months later, I was still dealing with symptoms. Call it long COVID symptoms. It really hit me in so many places and talk about being very scared. And I was like, okay, coupled with chronic Lyme disease, coupled with being a single mom, it was a lot. It was a lot. So I went back to my poem, You Don't Know My Pain. You don't know my pain. Chronically ill for months, thinking I'm going insane. Crying out to God in the middle of the night, asking Him to spare my life. Waking daily for months, totally drained. Neurological, physical, and mental suffering, and under so much financial strain. No one understands, they just brush it off. Family in denial. I've always been the health nut. I feel so alone and entrenched in this rut. You don't know my pain. Friends I thought would be there bailed. Support circle getting smaller. Crying out to God, asking, why am I going through? Relating to the book of Job and how he was once tested too. Praying for a cure, a miracle right now. For the many who bear this devil called Lyme. People keep saying, I'll be healed in time, but when? God, whatever I need to do, please show the way. Have mercy on my soul and hear me pray. Victimized by this disease, it's been such a heavy blow. You don't know my pain. I hope to God that you will never know. Whew. All right. Snaps for that. So that's from The Awakening, Piece of Life, Volume 2. This beautiful book cover is by my friend Ricky Johnson Atkins. And Reconstruction is actually a painting by David Rodriguez. Shout out to them. So that poem I wrote years ago in my darkest times of Lyme disease. But as I go through different ailments in life, and as others, I've had people that have lupus, celiac disease, ALS, cancer, and they're like, we read your poem or your poetry, but that particular poem hits home. So this year I've been going through, there have been a lot of up moments, I'm not going to lie, but there have been some really challenging moments, breakup of from someone who I knew for a very long time, sickness that hit afterwards, and so on and so forth. And with going through all of that, I really, really miss my mother. I miss her every day. But during these times, I wish I could have just picked up that phone. And for those who are like a phone, yeah, old school, we used to have landline phones. Okay, put it to your ear and the mouth near the cord. Yeah, so wish I could pick up the phone and just talk to her, ask her like, "Mom, what is going on?" Okay, and what say you? And we used to talk about all kinds of things. So from my book, Crying Tears of Teal, and you can see the book covers better on my website, serenawills.com, SerenaWills.com. The color teal represents the color for ovarian cancer awareness. My mother passed away at the age of 60, almost 16 years ago, to ovarian cancer. And when I was living in Dallas, Texas, that was a moment in my life. And I remember talking to my mother that January 2009, and she said, Serena, I'm just not feeling myself. I know you've been contemplating on moving back east. For those who don't know my story, I'm originally from Queens, New York. Shout out to any New Yorkers. Moved to the DMV area, DC, Maryland, Virginia. And from there, I went to Dallas, Texas for a little while. Yeah, that's the book Reconstruction talks about the main story there. Okay. So I moved back that July 2009. We had all these grandiose plans. She was planning on moving down here, and literally a month to the date I moved back, she was diagnosed with stage 4 ovarian cancer. I wrote tons of poetry at her bedside, tons, and then I would share the poems with her. In this particular poem, Sound of Your Voice, I think I wrote part of this when she was living, and I wrote the rest when she had passed on. So, Sound of Your Voice. The sound of your voice. Calm me in the midst of a storm. Soothe me during a cry when I just couldn't take it anymore. Loving sense of always knowing when I need it, and I love you, and that's all I call for. Encourage me when I needed to get up and stand up after taking a hard fall. You always knew what to say, how to say, and when to say. Your timing was absolutely perfect. Sixth sense would kick in. Didn't understand how you always knew. Ears that could hear miles away, caught in a lie because I didn't want to worry you. You would say, "You're not all right. Talk to me." Whether filled with rage from being done wrong or simply missing you from so afar, somehow, some way, you always knew when I had to hear your voice. I long for our daily calls filled with laughter, tears, and even the occasional silence between us. Pouring out tears for you because I can't have those days anymore. Voice saying to my spirit every single day, I miss those days, yet I'm so blessed to have had them. Today I heard wind chimes clang as the breeze blew through my window pane. I know it was you stopping by to say, I came by to say I love you. I couldn't see you, but I felt you. And I heard your gentle whispers as I lifted my hands high to praise him for the love we shared. Blowing kisses to heaven, saying, Mama, I love you too. The sound of your sweet voice was music to my spirit and soul. Whew. Yeah, I miss my mommy. Marguerite Sal T. Wills, I miss you tremendously. So, when people are going through a lot in life, at least when I'm going through a lot in life, and even when I'm not going through a lot in life, I could just be praising, I could have a great day. I call out to my ancestors. I let them know that I'm thinking about y'all, I'm talking to y'all, and I am here with open ears to hear from all of you. It really is important to have that connection with your ancestors and with your loved ones once they transitioned. So, last stop on the poetry train for this segment, I'm going to read a poem from my latest book, Artist Paradise Piece of Life, Volume 3. This came out November 2023, so I just had a second anniversary. And Artist Paradise talks about my love and my journey through the arts. Um, the arts is healing. I grew up in the arts. My mother was a professional West African dancer. My great grandmother was a visual artist, even though I didn't know her personally. My father was a drummer. He knew how to do everything from West African drums to snare drums here and all kinds of things, even though I never grew up with him. I embrace the arts. Arts is my world. And shout out to, again, Ricky Johnson Atkins. She actually drew this piece for me. It was my first cover that was ever an original cover. The other pieces are original paintings, but they were created before my books even existed. And I was like, I got to have those paintings for my cover. But this one, she took time, and after a conversation we had, she drew this magnificent painting. She painted the painting. She drew it with a pencil at first, and then she painted it. So this particular poem, this is titled River of Poetry. River of Poetry. And this is writing metaphorically from the perspective of a waterfall flowing courageously into a river under the moonlight. Spanning wide like Victoria Falls in Zimbabwe, majestic and unique, standing strong, beautifully designed by God's artistic eye, intricately sculpted, painted, and chiseled, just so, as He divinely placed in me the gift of creative writing and poetry, raining across the vast land, bringing about thunderous sounds when it hits the ground like waterfalls crashing to the bottom, lyrically healing people with my pen, remembering what I've been through in my life, courageously sharing words from the heart that healed the masses and even my own heart. Poetic verses that flow like a racing river, touching places whether they are hard to reach in remote villages, townships, or easy to touch. in the mean streets, the suburbs, inner cities, all who need healing, restoration, guidance, and empathy from abuse, illness, and grief, from broken homes and financial hardship. Poetry that embraces populations, whether they gravitate naturally or get captured magnetically. The river of poetry carried downstream, helping wash away the pain and anguish. People begin to fall to their knees at the river's edge. Some run right in. They've been waiting for this moment, bathing under the moonlight, pouring creative waters over their heads. That's something they have been looking for, the escape from turmoil and turbulent times. The river of poetic lyrics started from a huge waterfall of emotions, thoughts, and words, wrapping around those who are in need, ones who searched far and wide. They never gave up on their destined journey to divine healing. Whew, that is from Artist Paradise, Piece of Life, Volume 3. So during this year of 2025, it's been a lot, y'all. It's been a lot. I thought 50 was going to look a whole lot different. Okay. But in the end, the one thing I went back to, and well, the one thing I kept constant, let's just say constant, A is my prayer life. I'm a prayer warrior. I'm a prayerful woman. Love. Despite the despite the broken relationship, despite the breakup, that love still pours out of my heart. I love my son. I love my family. Um, I love my beautiful friends, or what I call family. They're friends with their family. I love my sorors of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. I love so many. I did not let the sickness, the breakup, other things I went through break me to a point where I stopped loving and I grew bitter. And the one thing I kept doing was creating. These last few months of the year, I have dusted off poems that I've started and stopped, and titles I have with no content and have new titles. And I think between late 2024, well, middle 2024 till now, I counted about 20 something poems that I need to sit down, flush out, and finish. It's a whole new book right there. But the arts is healing. And as we end this year, I want someone out there because I feel that someone has really had a tough year. You just ask, why me? What did I do to deserve this? And I just want you to hear my voice and know that you will make it through. We have to get right with our faith. We have to reevaluate people in our lives who is not serving us, who is not allowing us to grow, who is trying to stunt our growth. We cannot allow someone to stop our growth. And what are dreams that you want to do for the rest of 2025? We still got time. And what do you want to do in 2026? What is serving you and what is not? Who is serving you and who is not? Okay? So that is my time for today. I want someone to really sit with themselves as we close this year out. Or you might be listening to this in 2026. No matter when you listen to this, ask yourself, okay, I'm going through tough times. What are these tough times trying to teach me? What is the lesson learned and how can I persevere? So if you love what you heard, check out my website, serenawills.com, SerenaWills.com. There you'll find paperbacks and ebooks that are on sale, holiday sale, now until, supplies last. Of course, this is after the new year kicks in, maybe full price. Still go to my website. Check out cool poetry books and ebooks and downloadable workshops. Learn to be a self-published author and support an indie author like myself. And you can check me out on social media. Divine Right, DIVINEWRYTE. Don't forget that Y. Divine Right is my spoken word and poetry stage name. It's also the name of my health and wellness coaching practice, Divine Right Wellness. So, many blessings to y'all. Before I check out of here, I want to give a shout out to the founder of Indie Soup Media Network. Huge shout out to founder and my soror, Tachi, to Dr. Tachi. Put a doctor on that. She's a doctor, y'all. To Dr. Tachi, thank you for creating a platform for content creators and independent authors like myself to come on and to share with the world. You know, I love you, Soror. Love you, sis. And peace out to everyone. Many blessings and bye for now.